Hi, welcome back to my channel. It's Teneca. It has been just a little over 2 weeks since I've posted anything, but I have been recording I've stayed recording because remember, the main reason that I ever even started recording, the primary reason, I was experiencing so much, it just took me out of the journal. It took me out of the diary. It just wasn't enough. It was not enough for me to write it anymore. It couldn't come out fast enough. And I'm very grateful for that. I'm extremely grateful. It's changed how I communicate with myself and the things that I knew that I wanted to communicate. A lot of it to the world, to people that I just want to minister to and witness to and testify to and share with for this purpose, with the community that I'm creating. So the community that I'm becoming a part of, that's evolving, I'm grateful for it. One of the main reasons that I have not uploaded, again, I didn't stop recording. So I have a bunch of videos that I'm just gonna piece together, and maybe I'll make shorts, I don't know. If I can just be honest, if I may, I allowed someone to penetrate me, to penetrate my heart, my intention, my experience, my trauma. And it didn't come from a place, sometimes you can have uncomfortable conversations. These conversations that are, basically they're meant to shape us and evolve us and change us. And I'm not one that I run from, when I make a mistake or I make an error, I can own it. I can own it. Most of the time I have to have a full understanding of it and to understand my wrong or what it was that I missed. And there are some lessons that it does not matter how painful it was or who I had to share it with, You have to be able to take the constructive criticism. But when I know that it's coming from, no matter how painful it is, when it's coming from a source that I trust and I respect, and I see my reflection in that source, I see the truth in it, then yes, I can take it and I can digest it. If I know that you are not well-meaning, don't even waste your breath talking to me. I don't receive the negative intentions. I don't receive the negative projections. I reject that. Now, I've been taught spiritually that to reject anything is to reject everything. I disagree with that. But then again, there's so much that it does not matter what we think or whether we agree with it or not. What is just simply is. It is. And so I'll just leave the disclaimer from now on. People who watch these videos, if you find that you don't like something about my videos, from my voice to my hair to my makeup to the message to the background stuff that you see, feel free to go over there or somewhere. You don't have to be here, respectfully. You don't have to be here. I respect anybody's opinion and feelings, whatever they share, except for when it comes to my videos. You know what I'm saying? Because this is expression. This is expression. I'm a creator of much. If no one ever looked at the videos, obviously I'm not posting for likes, I'm not posting for comments, I'm not posting for page drops. I appreciate it when I get it. I do. This is expression. It took the place of this or this, because I can type at a gazillion miles an hour, to hear myself and see myself. It does something for me that I can't completely put into words, but I will one day. I will. I have to say, I think it is the oddest thing that, for instance, there are some people at both jobs that I know, I can tell when people have looked at or viewed my video. Because the vibe, there's an obvious shift, right? an obvious shift, and then some subliminals are dropped. And remember, she who misses not a lot. I pick up some of what people drop sometimes, mainly just to try to understand, because I don't have any judgment. Like when people have opinions or whatever, like, you know, I want you to feel free to say whatever you have in your heart to say, whatever you think you gotta, you know, you need to get it off your chest. But I think it's the oddest thing that people who sit in numbers, I'm talking more than two, baby, more than 2 or 3, and there's power when you share that energy and you're talking about one person. I receive all of that. Your some people's intentions may not be well, they may not be well intentioned, but I receive the lesson in any conversation, in any situation. And what someone means for you for bad, certainly there's something good that you can get out of it. And so to the people who sit and you feed into something that you don't even fully understand, and you're not even speaking to try to understand, everything has a price tag on it. You make sure that you can afford spiritually when you are speaking down on, just like when you're speaking up, these things come back to you. They come back to you. And so this is not saying that whoever may be wrong or right. It doesn't matter who's wrong or right. I'm talking about the talkers and the yappers. The girl, don't take that from her. When I give someone a gift, whether it's a card or money, when I pass a compliment, when I offer to do things for people, I know when I'm talking to people that you are being instructed to behave in a certain way, because maybe me and you may have a rapport or a vibe. But just to peel back some layers, I want you to consider that while many people you are talking in, it's a congregation, it's a small little a little hole of people who speak negatively, and they're speaking to each other, so you're sharing and spreading. I am writing by myself. When I create a video, I could be like the many YouTube videos that have been up for years with only 1 view. I would not care. This is not, I mean, people put in the disclaimer that this video is for entertainment purposes only. I mean, if you were entertained, if it's entertaining to you, then by all means. My intention is not to entertain anyone. I'm just sharing and I'm just being. That's it. And I know that can make some people feel awkward and even called out, because yes, I'm talking about myself and my experience, but if you happen to find yourself on the other side of one of those experiences, it is what it is. I've not shared or spread any lies or any rumors. When I have a question about a so-called truth that someone has shared with me, you know what I do? I fact check. Do you want to know what's just a little bit disturbing but completely predictable these days? Are some of the same people that I'm talking about. I won't say some of them. I'm going to say none of them. None of them have approached me personally to date to say what exactly did happen. What has happened? I know that you're showing up like this. This is what you're doing. Maybe when we first met, you used to do X, Y, and Z. And I remember these days when you were. And now it's like you just don't give a damn. That just don't give a damn is stretching across all aspects of my life. All aspects of my life. When I came into a trauma that was heavy enough, after all of the years of having overcome so much between COVID and the fire, and then the workplace, literal narcissistic supply and demand from some of the people who perpetuate that and keep that moving, I had to evolve. Some people talk about the crazies and the craze in every family, in every workplace, in every friendship setting. It takes a degree of crazy to survive crazy. Don't you forget that. Don't you think that you're using your perfectly sane mind to decipher the behaviors? That if you're reading it in a book, maybe you can say that. If you have survived living with a narcissist, survived living in a household, sharing a dwelling with a control freak, an abusive partner, disrespectful, abusive children, disrespectful, abusive spouses, parents, siblings, friends. In my case, people that I've literally bought in off the street who tried to tear stuff up in my house, steal stuff. I mean, it goes how it goes. And so I thought this light was blue. It looks like I may be using a black light, because if I put it over there, yeah. I'm like, what is it on my face? There's nothing on my face. It changed it for me just a little bit. You stay right there. Yeah. But anyway, yeah. It's just I was about 3 weeks ago, a little more than 3 weeks. I spoke to, and it was like in the same day. One was right when I got off of work. A person called me, who I don't even talk to. They called me on Messenger. We don't even talk. But you sent me a message. I responded, and then we had the conversation. And then later I talked to an actual relative later on that exact same evening. Because people really, it's really easy for you to see your side of the truth and try to stand on that and internalize things and to be misremembering shit. And people do that a lot. It's easy to do that when you're not giving ear to someone else's perspective. Okay? When you're not giving an ear to someone else's perspective or their side of the story, their side of the situation. It's healthy. There are many shoes lying around here. Many. And so it doesn't necessarily obligate you to pick up any of the many shoes laying around. This will be the last thing that I'm going to put on this, and then I'm going to walk away from it, okay? But the shoes that are laying around, right? You can try to stuff your Cinderella evil stepsister, raggedy foot in it, right? I mean, if it's not for you, then it's not for you. You don't have to make it fit. Have to. But if you had a problem, excuse me, resisting said shoe, said beautiful, brilliant slipper, if you find that it does fit, I expect that it would be uncomfortable, especially if you're thinking that it's not your shoe to begin with, and you didn't know, right, that you would fit the shoe, or that it was yours and that you left it there. Don't internalize everything that I'm saying or anything that I'm saying. I never speak with any intention of tearing anyone down or hurting anyone, because I've had many conversations with people that you have proven yourself to be an enemy. I know that people, so enemy and adversary are a little synonymous. I get that. There is a difference though. There's a difference. You can look that up and search that for yourself. I'm not going to try to bend your understanding or your interpretation of those two terms and the definitions. I invite you just to explore it and maybe try to see where I'm coming from. If you find that something that I say, it pinches you a little bit, you feel injured by what I'm sharing, I'm asking you to consider where you fall in that truth. What was it about what I said? Am I lying about something? Am I misrepresenting something? Because if you find that, if you feel that and you find that in your mind, I actually am, come to me. Come to me and talk to me. If you have access to me, if you have my phone number, if you have my email addresses, if you have my social media, everything, ItsTeneca, ItsTeneca. I just want to get that out there, because it will never happen again. It will never happen. It can never happen, and it will never happen again that my voice will be muffled. That I will out of fear the era of uncertainty, I could lose my job behind someone misrepresenting my words and not coming to get the full truth. And people do that a lot, even at work. They are willing to take little pieces that they hear you say, that they heard you say, and instead of acknowledging what was said and doing something about that, they'll take it and spin it into something else. That's called manipulation. I want you to really think about, for people who are sitting on a bench of rumors. You're sitting in a subway of rumors, the train and all the seats on it. Some shit that somebody else sold you about me and whoever else. Just be careful that, you know, as adults, that your mind isn't being bent to somebody else's perspective. Allow yourself to think for yourself. It could be something to the degree of, it's analogy time. Someone could approach you and say, you know, tell you something. It could just be just a little rumor about someone else. And they're just like, girl, did you hear this? Or dude, did you hear this? Bro, people say bro a lot today. Did you hear about such and such, such and such? You know, you don't even know this person over here. You don't even know who they're talking about. But because maybe you caught them just a certain way looking at you, your eyes met one time ever, and you had a feeling about, or that person wore something that you was just like, oh, you trying to front just because you got those shoes on. The brothers be bad having some badass shoes. I see some nice shoes anyway. So you might have an opinion about someone that's just a little seed that's already there, and you be like, yeah, I believe it, because I can't stand his ass anyway. What'd you just do there? You co-signing on something else that someone else is talking about that you don't know a damn thing about. Really just willingly hopping into someone else's whole shit. And yes, anyone can do that. It's at school or it happens at work. It's the kind of shit that causes people to get pushed out of places, and they don't even deserve that because of opinions. It was a man who told me in my youth, before I was even a teenager, a man told me that I would find as I got older that the hatred and shade that I would feel from women would be almost unbearable, overwhelming, a weight far too heavy for a sane person to carry, for the literal envy, the way that women envy each other, specifically the older women looking back to younger women. My father was the first person that told me that. And that was very true. I mean, I get it from a bunch of different people. But I have to say, on the flip side of that, because I do see the haters, and I understand, I disagree with, but I fully understand how some of them can conclude what they conclude. But the reason that they don't get a lot of attention from me, and why I encourage you to ignore them fools, when you know that people are mistaken about you, or they don't quite have the right idea, and they didn't care enough to come and get the right idea, I'm gonna let you sit over there the rest of your life with that shit. I have nothing to prove to anyone. None of you has anything to prove to anyone other than yourself. Yourself. Be all right with your damn self. Be all right with yourself. Just like I was talking about auntie that I work with. I call the lady auntie. Yes, and I was being a little bit disrespectful because I don't respect her as auntie, obviously. Yet I'm calling her, you know, auntie now. Someone who had formed an opinion of me, that I thought formed an opinion of me, and it was just a thought in my head. I didn't even take it to her. She came to me and was like, I'm sure you've caught me staring at you a couple of times. I mean, it was like that. And then I felt so bad because I was like, this is the shit that I be talking about. Even though I didn't go around necessarily spreading it to anyone, I did mention in a video like 4 or 5 videos back, you know, auntie, they be trying to catch me. It is someone, I can't even say that I work with the person. We work in the same building, okay, who has expressed a couple of times opinions. I'm not even going to say what she was talking about, but she and I had never had a conversation, and there was just a vibe between us. And so after I made a video, I wasn't talking about her, but I did kind of throw that out there, like just something else that just like annoyed the hell out of me. It was in there. I don't know if she saw a video or not, or she thought I was talking about her, but she came to me, and she didn't come to me like, it was that shit you said about me. That's not how she approached me. She approached me like, I just want you to know that I think that you're so beautiful. It broke me down. I think you're so beautiful, and your look is so different. I've seen all your different hairstyles, and I can't even think about where, you know, I have no idea where you come from. I didn't expect that from her, because she would look at me, and I don't know if maybe she was in another thought, and then she would see me and she would still be in another thought. It was just, it didn't give me a pleasant feeling. But to have her to approach me, because it doesn't matter what tone I said it in. If I said, is there a problem, or can I help you with something? it's a call out. You know what I mean? It's a, huh? Not by the hairs of my chinny chin chin. No. Anyway, but no, it just, it lit me up. I've been having so many, like during this time that, because my feelings, and when I say that, my feelings were hurt after that last conversation especially. There's the boundaries that need to be reestablished and reset. Reestablished or reset. When someone, after I'm 45 years old and no one has ever approached me, the people in my family and outside of my family, spiritual counselors, professionals, who know about my past and where I come from. If you know that multiple people abused me or put their hands on me, you've known it for years, and you never once asked me who or what happened or about the timeline or if I'm okay, to never get that from anybody in my entire family, ever, except for a few weeks ago when one of those family members came out. So exactly, tell me exactly who all did what, and if I'm one of them people, tell me what I did, how abusive was I? And I was just like, no, you don't get to ignore an entire life being for all the time that you knew me before this date, that I know that you had foreknowledge of, you'd heard about, and you never said anything. Nobody has the right to come and do a roll call or bring out an inspection on a over 40-year-old. Well, the first abuse started at 2 years old, right? Nobody gets to come back and rip up all of those scabs and all of those scars out of curiosity, not even, actually with the intention to invalidate and discredit. I promise you cannot. So all of this time in this first part of the video is just dedicated to me firmly stating, this is the line in the sand. Don't ever try that again. For the 2 people who did it, never. You probably won't get the chance if I ever speak to you again. But for my viewers, for the people, if you are tuning in, if you have a question, bring it to me. Be mindful that I'm always mindful of the energy that someone brings anything to me. So if you are not conscious of yourself, become conscious of yourself. If you will be received however you present yourself. I'm not going to try to decipher what you meant by what you said. I'm going on what you say to me and what you show me. We can talk about anything, as long as it's done out of love and out of respect, in love and in respect. So it's Friday, right? There's so much going on, and my wheels are spinning about pressure. There's been a lot of stuff going on, and I'm gonna tell you that the peace that I got, the peace that I've had over these last few weeks has been a very quiet, I know I'm conscious that it's there. The reality is, if I lost my apartment today, like I almost lost it as soon as I moved in April, well, in March, oh my. Okay, and for anyone who knows me, who's looking at this video, anyone who knows me, looking at this video, at the top of this experience 3 weeks ago that kind of muffled me a little bit, it put me in timeout for a time, was synonymous with that, which actually did give me, I was grieving over it. I lost a rose quartz. Now, the one that I've had for years, I met a gentleman who needed it a lot more than I did, who had been displaced, kicked out of his home. He had a lot taken from him. Like double my age. He needed it. He needed it more than I did. And I gave it to him, that with a clear quartz, just to kind of ground him and to build him back up, because he was beaten up. I had just gone and purchased, I hand-picked this one out at a place local here, called Nature's Treasures. Not just trying to throw anyone any publicity or advertisement, but I go there often enough that I'm just mentioning it. Okay, whatever. Anyway, I just found this one, and I lost it. I have not seen it since I had that last conversation about my videos. Look, I'm looking on the desk in a pile that I did not look under before, even though it's sitting right here. So, that rocked me. So I was grieving the loss of that. I was grieving the loss of that. I was grieving the loss of that. Okay, so again, I was grieving the loss of that crystal, and it didn't dawn on me until the other day, a couple of days ago, that the reality is that when you lose a crystal, that means that it's an indicator that it served its purpose, or it made its way to someone else, the hands that actually real time need it right now. So I receive it, and I went out and I got another one. It's similar, it's flat, just like the other one. It's a lot smaller. The other one was what was that? It has to be a black light, because it's doing the opposite. I don't know if you're seeing it the same way I'm seeing it. It makes it look 3D. It's a shadow. That is so weird. That is so weird. Okay. Stay right there. All right. Anyway, so, okay, I know what I was going to say now. If something happened and I lost my apartment, if I lost my job, if I lost my car, I already know that it's going to be okay. That's the energy that I was stepping out of a few weeks ago, and just grasping that. That was it's small, but it's a heavy victory. It meant it came right, just that understanding, that mind over matter, the change, that was the change, that is the change. Because I started, it's not necessarily worried about losing my job or worried about losing this apartment, my reputation. My character is being bashed. Which direction, sir?
To believe me in everything that I say.
You recorded, bro. I'm not.
Welcome back to my channel. It's Tanika. It's Tanika. It's Tanika. Yes, I'm doing something about the becoming my own cheerleader, my own fan club. I think that's a healthy idea, a healthy thing to do. So I'm not gonna lie, it has been really hard for me to not record a video. Why? Remember how important why is? I received some feedback from a couple of people about my videos. Now remember, when I started the channel, when I started recording the videos, this was my transition from the journal or diary to this. Because of the trauma, couldn't write it fast enough. I couldn't speak it into the mic fast enough for it to, the voice to text. I enjoy this sharing and communicating, and I do receive a vibration. It's not an actual word like what I would get if I were talking to my best friend or my mother or one of my sisters, but I stay receptive. I mean, I try to be and try to stay receptive to messages and gifts and instruction